Good morning, dear students. In the previous class, we discussed up to menstrual cycle, and today I'm going to take up the next part, that is fertilization and implantation. Before going to the aspect of fertilization, we should know about insemination. What is insemination? I think in the beginning of this class, this chapter, I told you about this. It is process of transfer of sperm into the female reproductive tract. Process of transfer of sperm into female reproductive tract. During fertilization, what happens? You know, this is in female reproductive system. There are a pair of fallopian tubes will be there, and uterus will be there. Cervix portion and vagina portion. And here there will be a thick myometrium, and the deciduous layer, that is called endometrium, will also be there. This is uterine fundus. Uterine fundus. And here two ovaries are attached like this, and during fertilization, the sperms which are released to vagina through the penis, and those sperms, they start, that is called insemination, they start moving in upward direction like this. And the ovary, either right or left ovary, any one ovary will release the egg. Suppose let us think that this ovary release the egg. Now, when compared to the size of the sperm, this distance is enormous. And although we know that 160 million sperms will be released, only very few thousands will reach here, and very few hundred will come here in this region. So it's a long journey for sperms, and during that time, the motility ability of the sperm will play a very important role, and the sperms, they start moving in upward direction through cervical canal, and then this uterine portion, and they are attracted towards that part of the ovary where the egg is released, and that attraction is mainly because of a chemical released by the outer surface of the egg. The outer surface of the egg releases a chemical. And that particular chemical, fertilizing and anti-fertilizing, two are the chemicals which attracts each other, and they move along with the tubal fluid. They move along with the tubal fluid towards the cervical canal, and it comes to vagina, so that the sperms are attracted and they start moving in that direction. So it is a chemotaxic movement, chemical attraction. It is purely chemical attraction towards the egg. Suppose by the same time, in the fallopian tube, the wall of the fallopian tube, it has many hair-like structures, and these hair-like structures helps to push the egg in upward direction, and those sperms will encircle the egg, and the sperm which touches the egg surface at an angle of 40 degree will get a better chance to enter, inside the egg. Immediately when the sperm touches the egg surface, the rupturing of acrosomal portion, acrosomal reaction that takes place. And due to this acrosomal reaction, depolarization of the membrane, egg membrane, depolarization of egg membrane takes place. Depolarization of egg membrane takes place. And because of this depolarization of the egg membrane, the egg will not allow the entry of other sperms. So other sperms can't enter inside. They are rejected. So they are not permitted to enter inside. By the same time, when the sperm touches the egg surface, the meiotic division, I think you remember that the meiotic division of egg will be stopped, and when the sperm come in contact with the egg surface, that meiotic division will continue, and due to that, the polar bodies are produced. Along with the ovum, polar bodies are produced. Polar bodies. And ovum. Polar body and ovum, both are produced. And you know this polar body is formed due to unequal cytoplasmic division, and ovum, which is the functional egg. When the sperm nucleus enters to egg nucleus, there will be fusion of pronuclei takes place, and this fusion leads to division. It leads to the formation of first zygote, and after the formation of zygote, that zygote will divide into two halves, and these two halves are called blastomeres. Blastomeres. And then, after some time, the two blastomeres will divide to form 4 cells. They are going to divide to form 4 cells. 1, 2, 3, 4. And after that, the 4-celled blastomere divided, and it leads to the formation of 8 cells. 8 cells. Now, look here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, somewhere here, 8, that side. Okay? And this is called morula. This is called morula. And after this, the blastocyst will be formed. Later, the blastocyst will be formed. What is this blastocyst? Blastocyst is that stage of the zygote where many cells are formed inside it, and it is covered by a special layer of cells. Those cells are called, it is covered by special layer of cells, and those cells are called trophoblast. I will write in different color. Trophoblast. What is that? Trophoblast. Why I am giving that much importance to the cells? I will tell you. Trophoblast cells. Trophoblast. And this structure, some student asked, what is blastocyst? Blastocyst is that stage which comes during cleavage where it is ready for implantation. It is ready for implantation. It is one of the stage in the cleavage. That is, after fertilization, it is the stage where it is blastocyst is group of cells which is ready for implantation. Which is ready for implantation. But it is encircled by a single layer of cells. They are called trophoblast. They are called trophoblast. Now, where they come, where they settle here in the, or towards, they come here, blastocyst comes here. Either it may go down or it may attach here itself, randomly it will go, and it will attach to the wall of the endometrium. It will attach to the wall of the endometrium. And my dear students, slowly, see, listen, it's very interesting. These are trophoblast, they pierce the blood vessels. What they do? They tear the blood vessel, and due to that, lot of blood will oozes out and it covers the blastocyst. Why the trophoblast cells, they tear the blood cells by releasing a protein? Because when the blastocyst comes to this region, almost it is tired. Lack of food. Tiredness will be there. So, due to that, what happens? It requires nutrients. So, whenever these trophoblast is able to tear the blood vessel, that blood oozes out, and that blood will be absorbed by the blastocyst. That blood will be absorbed by that nutrients will be absorbed by the blastocyst. And by getting energy, it will start implanting inside. What is implantation? Another word. This is also important. What is implantation? Define implantation. They may ask. Implantation. It is process of attachment of the fertilized egg into the wall of the endometrium. Process of attachment of zygote to the wall of the endometrium. Endometrium, to the wall of the endometrium, is called implantation. They may ask this for 1 mark. So, what is implantation? It is process of attachment of zygote to the wall of endometrium, is called implantation. Okay, now what happens after implantation? The embryo starts developing inside the womb of the mother, and later, in the womb of the mother, a special membrane is formed, which takes care of the baby, which is growing inside. And that we call it as placenta. What is it? Placenta. You can see here, this is a uterus, and this is a cervical canal, and here a thick plug is formed to protect the child. That is called uterine plug. What is that? Uterine plug. And here the placenta is formed. This particular placenta, it protects the child which is growing inside. The child will develop inside like this. Okay. And there is umbilical cord that connects mother and child, maternal tissue and the child. It supplies umbilical cord. Oxygen and nutrients. And another interesting fact is, it carries carbon dioxide and nitrogenous waste outside. Outside the body. And this fluid where the child floats, that is called amniotic fluid. Amniotic fluid. I want to tell you another interesting fact here, that there is a yolk sac. What is that? Yolk sac. You may argue with me, sir, why that yolk sac is there? It is a property of the egg, no? It should be found in egg or in birds. But this proves that we are the relatives of birds. It is a vestigial organ. But one thing you remember, it performs one function. It is responsible for the production of first RBC. First RBC. This is very important for your NEET exam. So, which of the following organ is responsible for the production of RBC? If they ask, then in the option definitely yolk sac will be there. So, amnion, this is the amniotic layer, amnion, then yolk sac, and then there is another layer that is called chorionic layer. It is hook-like, and this helps to fix the fix the entire placenta to the wall of the endometrium. This is called chorion, and there is another layer that is called allantois. It is rudimentary, so I won't mention it here. So mainly, chorion will be there, yolk sac will be there, amnion will be there, amniotic fluid will be there. So, and placenta, it has two parts, maternal part and the fetal part. And this umbilical cord, it provides the nutrients to the developing child. And then, after the complete growth of the child, when the child grows, the space is not enough for the child to move, then it feels some sort of irritation. Then its head positioning occurs. Head of the child will come like this, and then what happens? The child starts showing its irritation by pushing its legs towards a wall, and it shows that the space is not enough for me. I am irritated. So this positioning is called head position. During that time, a protein is released from the brain of the child, and that goes to mother's blood. From there it goes to mother's brain. From the mother's brain, then the oxytocin is released. And this oxytocin is responsible for the childbirth. See how interestingly it functions. Brain of the child, it feels the irritation, and then what happens? It will go to that protein will release to blood of the mother, and mother's blood will carry it to mother's brain, and mother's brain will start producing oxytocin. Oxytocin is responsible for labor pain. Now, they may ask, usually, if you observe the board paper, you can get a question. What is that? Write the functions of placenta. It can be asked for 5 marks. Write the functions of placenta. If that is the question, then your answer must be like this. Let us see what are the important functions of placenta. Okay? Functions of placenta. Functions of placenta. First one, it provides oxygen and nutrients to fetus, embryo. That is, placenta is responsible for respiration as well as digestion. The second important is, it is responsible to carry carbon dioxide and nitrogenous waste away from the body. It carries carbon dioxide and nitrogenous waste away from the body. And the next important function, it gives protection. It gives protection to the child. And it also gives passive immunity to the child. Passive immunity to the child. Then it secretes following hormones. I will write it here. It secretes following hormones. These are very important. First one is HCG, human chorionic gonadotropin. Human chorionic gonadotropin. It is also called pregnancy test hormone, also called pregnancy test hormone. It is also called pregnancy test hormone. Second one, HPL, human placental lactogen. Human placental lactogen, HPL. Then it also secretes estrogen and progesterone, prevents abortion. Progesterone. And it also responsible for the secretion of relaxin during the time of parturition. During parturition. During parturition. Okay? So, these are the important hormones produced by placenta. HCG, human chorionic gonadotropin. It is also called pregnancy test hormone. HPL, human placental lactogen, estrogen, progesterone, relaxin. This is HPL, that is usually responsible to maintain the pregnancy along with progesterone. Estrogen is also important, female hormone. Relaxin is produced during delivery. Thus helps in milk production, prepares mammary gland for production of milk. Then embryo will develop ectoderm, endoderm, and mesoderm. What are the cells, organs which are produced? I will tell you in the NEET class. But you remember, it produces ectoderm, endoderm, and mesoderm. Then, development of embryo, I will explain in the next video.